All right, everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to a little improvised session for the Pulver Report. It is Friday, 2 o'clock on the 7th of May. Let's go ahead and get started. I just want to do a little recap for the week. Usually the sessions run 9 a.m. Mondays, 9 a.m. Fridays, but I was tied up in a little thing called the Trading Battle today, which was an awesome time, and hopefully some of you are able to check that out. That was sponsored by Eightcap. Give me 1 second here. That was sponsored by Eightcap this morning, a nice broker out of Australia. I was paired up against Blake Morrow. We traded non-farm payroll and CAD news, and I'm happy to say that both of us raised some good capital for charity, which is awesome. And then I proceeded to jump into stocks and options with equities on demand, and ended up closing out for some nice profits on the day as well. So I want to talk about all that good stuff. So here is me. Happy Friday, everybody. How we doing? Nice to see everybody. If you're out there typing a wire, yes. And let's go ahead and jump into those charts. I will bring up this here. Let's go into the little disclaimer. Make sure we understand there's risk in trading. Please and always use trade capital only. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. You know the deal, whether you trade stocks, options, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies. You understand there's risks, okay? Joe, nice to have you here. Catherine, nice to see you here. I just want to go ahead and review some of the setups that we're looking at this week. I will bring up my little broker platform as well. This is just some of the trades I closed out today for some stocks. All in all, a good day. So a couple of trades closing up. I wanted to review some trades that we have for equities on demand class. Let me bring up the spreadsheet right here. That is the tracker document. Yep. Okay, so it might be difficult to see it, but I'll just add the numbers up. I'm up like $507 on the day. So I had a little bull put option for bull put spread on ADSK. So 147 on the losing side, 207 on the plus side, minus 47, minus 570, plus 903, plus 43, minus 1051, plus 1169. 507 on the day. No big deal. Decent little P&L change. Capital for the week, raising some money, which is awesome. And position-wise, plenty to manage going into next week. So still have a lot on the table for next week. I'm really excited about some trades in our equities on demand class. We're calling them the Master Blaster setups. We have one on Baidu, which I actually just closed out today for $300, and I've got another one rolled into June 18th. We have one in the IWM, which is Russell 2000. We have one in FUTU and Disney. And we're looking at a couple more. We are going to revisit one on DraftKings next week, and we have one for Best Buy and Hewlett-Packard. So those are excellent strategies where we are directionally neutral, and we are looking for price to rally or drop. It doesn't really matter what price does. As long as price does something, we're going to find a way to make some money, which is always a good time. And there is no shortage of opportunities and volatility in these markets, which is great to be a trader. Okay, so let's take a look here. Donna, nice to see you again. Yep, welcome back. We just got out of a call. Jerry, what's up, Jerry? How you doing? Did they take a look at Baidu? We can look at Baidu. Sure. Oops. BIDU. So Baidu's at 190.57, and we got in at 195. We're probably already in profit on that one. Baidu. We are looking for, yep, it's already up some profit on that 195 call. So, or I'm sorry, 195 put. So it's looking good. Stay with it. You know, I mean, we've got plenty of time on this one. We want this one to drop a ton. Here's the daily chart on Baidu. So what we're looking for on the higher time frame is for this to either come down and test this low right at this yearly pivot, or, you know, perhaps it finds major support and we're looking at closing out some put sides, and then it maybe rallies up here and comes back to revisit the highs. And we can maybe even double dip on some profits to the call side. But we have ways to play this both directions. If we hit our max target, which would be around, for one contract, we're in around $2,000 worth of profit. So if that gets hit by the time we hit these lows around this yearly pivot, that would be awesome as well. So certainly no complaints on Baidu. It's an excellent looking trade. I wanted to review some of the, let me just start for my day. Like my first day this morning, I was live at 7 a.m. with the Trading Battle. I hope all of you had a chance to come in and take a look at that, thetradingbattle.com. It was myself versus Blake Morrow. It was awesome. Great platform, Eightcap, and they did an awesome job. Streamed it live. Kathy Lean was an excellent host. Had a lot of fun. Would do it every single week if we could. So that was an awesome time. And both of us traded, made some good profit. I made profit during the session within the first like 20 to 30 minutes. Blake's trades were running through the morning. He ended up closing out for nice profit this afternoon with some of those extra pushes on the dollar, which if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about Forex. So here's the currency strength chart on Forex. And what you're looking at on the screen here is the real-time relative strength of the currency pairs. So we have the CAD, which had horrible news today. So did the dollar. I'll show you that in a second on the Forex Factory calendar. We have everything else pretty much in line with, it's a competition today between the euro, the Aussie, the Swiss, the pound, the New Zealand. The yen's a little bit softer. The dollar and the CAD got absolutely crushed today. On the job front, this is the economic calendar. We have unemployment numbers for the U.S. So let's go U.S. first. We have average hourly earnings at 0.7. Now, what's interesting is we were talking about this before the trading battle, and we were looking at, Wells Fargo expected a print of like 1.2 million jobs. We had other reports saying it was, well above a million expected. They came in way under that. So, the forecast was 990 on Forex Factory, came in at an actual 266. So way off there. We had a negative revision from 916 back down to 770. We had a higher than expected unemployment rate from 5.8% expected, came in 6.1. And yet we had this average hourly earnings that just shattered expectations. So look, I don't know who the economists are here, but they're not doing a very good job of forecasting. And it's not just in the U.S. because look at the Canadian job numbers as well. Forecasted negative 160, came in negative 207. That's actually closer than usual because if you look at these other numbers here, forecasted 101 came in 303. Forecasted 98 came in 259. Forecasted negative 43 came in negative 212. So way off base on some of those Canadian employment numbers. But still, you can see that reflective today, dollar weakness and CAD weakness. And so, we took some trades this morning on that trading battle. It was a lot of fun and a big news, decent catalyst for the morning. And that kind of wraps up the Forex side of things. I'm still looking at the big picture, dollar index and DXY. Let's take a look at that really quickly. For the day, you can tell that the dollar has been beat down for the day, but it's going to be something to watch very closely over the next couple of weeks because this low getting taken out, this low getting taken out. We did challenge that low again today. So here's my thoughts. This is either a continuation trade to the downside where this dollar is going to continue to push back down to these February and March lows. That is a very real thing. This is dollar index. We could end up finding this major support, then a reversal pattern, and we see range trading or a big rally back up to previous highs with some dollar strength coming. Now, the reality is, just talking about the macro picture for a second, the dollar weakness is what's allowing the stock market to rally. Okay, so today's job report was the perfect alibi and the excuse for the Fed to keep printing, okay, for the Fed to keep interest rates really low, and for stimulus measures to stay as strong and accommodative as possible. Okay, so we will see what ultimately happens with the revision next month, as Wes actually pointed out, which is true. We'll see what the revision is, but again, I go back to 2020, we lost over 20 million jobs. They pretty much evaporated in a month, okay? We have been on the recovery the entire time. So since like March, April of last year, it has been nothing but recovery, trying to get back what we lost. So even though, we're looking at 960,000 jobs, which obviously was a horrible miss on that, but even if we did have 900,000 jobs or a million plus jobs, we're still way behind. We're still like 7 to 8 million jobs behind what we lost in 2020. So what's interesting to me is since, a lot of the news reports, a lot of the economic calendars, a lot of it is, the news, it obviously means stuff and there's narratives being created with it. There's headlines being created with it, but I'm still trading price action. I'm still trading technicals because I think that's the decision making that I'm comfortable with. The numbers and the consistency or irregularities of we have a good month and a bad month, good print, bad print, bullish news, bearish news. It's pretty much a coin flip. So was it a surprise today that, with the reaction, the market tanked on negative news? Not necessarily. But at the same token, I would not have been surprised if it was a bad print for the U.S. Was that enough to say like, well, the stock market's going to decline because we're not recovering? Maybe the economy's not as bad or is not as great as we thought. this week, the stock market was getting its butt kicked this week. If we take a look at the SPY, for example, right? Now, I'm not talking about today. I mean, this is an incredible turnaround from yesterday to today. Look at this. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, yesterday to today. This is the SPY closing at fresh highs. Okay? Now, I had traders, myself and Tyson had traders this week that were not real pleased about everything Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm sitting in all these trades, prices going against us. You will be amazed. I'm going to show you here in about 2 minutes what stocks have done just in the last 48 hours. It's amazing, okay? So I'll show you. But the SPY closing at new highs, the Dow Jones, look at the difference, okay? So we have fresh highs today, highs yesterday, indecision on Wednesday, but I mean, this was really a flat week for the Dow Jones. It ended up pushing aggressively higher on Thursday and Friday. The NASDAQ, we had a gap higher today by a lot, actually, but a massive indecision candle. Now my outlook on the NASDAQ is we are going to struggle to take out the high, I think. So I think that the NASDAQ is putting in a pretty decent cap. We could have high, low, lower high. We might have some inside trading here over the next couple of days going into next week. And if I start to see the NASDAQ closing lower or the Qs closing lower, then I wouldn't be surprised if tech again is under the gun and under pressure to sell off. Okay, so let's watch. And again, we'll come back on Monday and talk about this, but a big indecision candle for today on the QQQ. So I'll be watching to see does price close above that, close below that, and where's the next leg on tech stocks. Volatility. Massive, I'd say disappointment in volatility this week simply because we had some promise going into Wednesday, right? This was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Big volatility spike on Tuesday, and then we were right back down where we started. So it's a big old nothing burger on volatility this week, but trying to get up towards that monthly pivot. It'll probably just reset towards these lows, chop around a little bit, allowing stock markets to continue to edge higher, right? And then we'll have something else that scares it, and it'll pop up here again. It happens pretty much once a month. You have like this boring volatility index, and then once a month it gets all excited, and then it gets smashed back down. Gets all excited, gets smashed back down. And that is something that traders continue to exploit, month after month or quarter after quarter for years on end. Okay, so I want to take a moment here and talk about some of the changes that we've had. So this is one of our equities on demand strategies. It's called our power play strategy, and we had a big turnaround in some stocks this week, so I want to highlight some of those. I will be taking a small loss on Etsy today. It's not at a max loss. It's upside down a little bit. Let me go ahead and check and see where I'm at on Etsy. So I am upside down about 150 bucks. Okay, so I'm going to take a loss of $150 on Etsy. So I'll go ahead and keep track. So let's say about $150 here. So I'll take minus 150 before the market closes today. I can actually let this one expire on me, and I'll take a loss of about $150. Okay, that's Etsy. Now my next one is Wayfair. Wayfair was actually in the hole by a lot, and I am now going to take a profit of $150. So it's looking fantastic. So that 150 I'm closing out on Etsy is now back to break even because I'm closing out for profit on Wayfair. The next one, ILMN. My line in the sand is 375. It's trading at 383. So the next hour and 45 minutes, this one's pretty safe, and as long as we don't have any massive surprises. I will set a chart alarm here at 376 and make sure that line in the sand. I will make sure I can close this one at least break even or better, but currently ILMN, that is currently up around $60 out of a maximum of $75. So if I wanted to just close this one right now, I can take a majority of that profit, but at the close of today at 4 p.m., as long as we are above my strike price of $375, that will be a max profit of $75, and I'll be happy to take that. So I'm going to try to take that one out for full profit. That would be adding $75 to my bottom line. The next one is MCHP. MCHP, this is at 148, and my line in the sand is 145. So I do have a chart alarm set here at 146. This would be another one worth $30 per contract, so I can add that to it. Okay, and then ADI, this one should be fine. ADI is at 156. My line in the sand is 149. I'll go ahead and set a chart alarm here if I need it at 150, but I don't think that's going to be a problem today. So 150, line in the sand. Line in the sand, and this one will be for a 30-cent credit as well. So that'd be another $30 here. So plus $30. Okay, AVGO. I actually just closed this one out, and I posted this in my Telegram alerts for, was it this one? No. AVGO is fine. 451, and my line in the sand's 445. This one should be closing out for a max credit of $75. So I'll add 75 to that one. Again, by 4 p.m. today, as long as we're above $445, I'll be in profit on this. So again, total, these have not been closed out yet. I'll be looking to add another $210 to my bottom line, and I'm not done. ADSK, I just closed this one out. ADSK, this one's at 285, and my line in the sand is 285. I close this one out for $60 out of a maximum of $75. So that's 92% of my max profit closed out. I'm going to go ahead and add that in at $60. So plus 60 right there. And then BDX, I didn't get filled on that one. That was actually, I saw a couple scenarios. Traders could have closed it out today during one of my live sessions around $50 of profit out of a maximum of 75. Or we just had a VIP call at noon with a lot of our Equities on Demand students, and it was sitting right around break even or for a small loss. So it's like you closed it during live session, it was $40 to $50 of profit. If you waited, there's been a lot of volatility on this day. Look at the daily candle here for BDX right here. Big volatility on BDX. Now we're at 241, and the line in the sand is 242.50. So long story short is we don't want to be holding this through the weekend if it's below our strike price, which was 242.50. Okay, so traders, like I said, could have closed it out during the day. If we go back up the last couple of hours, oops, let me go hours here. If you can look at the last couple of hours, when we were in session during our Equities on Demand class, price was right up here. And that was a chance to get that $40, $50 of profit out of a maximum of 75. If you waited, then you're sitting here. Now, again, it's still looking at a decent little rally. You have until the close today. You have until 4 p.m. If this is, and again, the stock is pretty volatile. If there's a way that BDX can rally up here, I would feel a sigh of relief. We get up to 243 or 244, and I think we would be closing by the end of the day in profit. And again, if that's in profit, then BDX is a max credit of $75. So it's possible, or this one is a very small loss, like very small loss. Okay, so that's BDX. And then lastly, we had another signal for Apple today or this week. Our line in the sand's 128, and we're trading at 130.17. That's another plus $30. So I'm looking at close today, adding $300 to my little wins. I'm already up 507 for the day. So all in all for the week and today, nice little 807 for stocks and options this week, and about $325 in Forex today. So I will take that all in a couple days work and all some trades, and there's plenty more where that came from. So I like it. And again, like I said, what a difference a day makes. And what's critical about this, check this out. I talked about this in my session last Friday. I talked about this session Monday in my Pulver Report Monday on the weekly outlook. I think that it is critical that we evaluate. Let's look at some of these tech stocks, for example. Let's look at Apple, and let's go to this simple moving average. Take a look at this. Let me go to the daily chart. Okay, there were a lot of stocks that were right in here. So all I'm showing you is a 100 and a 200 simple moving average. Right? Very simple stuff. So these are, widely accepted indicators, industry standard indicators. You can see them on Bloomberg. You can see them, major hedge funds use them, the 50 period, the 100 period, the 200 period, the death cross, the golden rally, all this other stuff, right? So it's easy. Now, what we looked at this week is going into this week, a lot of stocks were sitting at this level. A lot of stocks were sitting at this level. I thought it was going to be either a make or break type scenario. And we had what was looking like a breakdown in stocks through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, everything fought back. So it's like that line was defended. A lot of these stocks lines were defended. Ones that didn't do hot, we have an earnings play on Zillow right now that's doing pretty well. It's sideways. We need Zillow to go somewhere, right? So we have this level and this level for profit. It's sitting right in the middle. So we have more time in this one. We'll let it roll over, but I just want to see where Zillow goes. It's actually an interesting close on the day, which is why I remain neutral on this pair overall. Pair symbol. Camping World's another one. Camping World had this massive spike during earnings, a rejection. It's indecisive. I'm looking to see, can we get up to this high? Can we get down to this low? If we can, we're going to make some money on that one. Mosaic was another earnings play this week. This one is kicking to the upside. I still left the whole trade on. I'm looking for this one to close out towards the call side in profit. We need to get up around $39 on the call side for Mosaic. So we have some interesting plays this week. If you want to throw out some stocks, feel free. LMT, yes, I just closed that one out as well. That was a power play. Catherine mentioned that one. LMT is at 391. So here was the play. This was a play from a couple weeks ago. LMT was a play from last week. We closed out for $75 a contract last week. And also, we had a larger time frame version or our larger horizon version with our power play. And this one, my max profit is $130. I closed it out today for $120. Okay, so less my broker. It was $120 profit. My broker took their little cut, so I closed out for a net 115. So I suppose I could add that. I was up, what did I say, 807. 807 in stocks. Actually, I already included that. Never mind. So I did incorporate that. So yeah, 120 was the close. The broker took their cut. I closed for net 115. But it was, and you can keep it. Like, you don't have to close this trade. Most likely, as long as LMT continues to go up. Right? Nice. Catherine says close for 63-cent debit. Perfect. I think I closed out for 64 cents. We're looking at, we had the debit here at 55, so I did shave a little bit off that. So same thing, 55-cent debit's what I wanted to close for. But, 63 cents, 64 cents, that's great. So Catherine, you made more money than I did. Excellent. Yep, good stuff. But if you want to keep the trade on, or if you're with me and you're keeping the trade on, that's fine. If we get back up towards this high, it's probably going to max out and you'll get your full at least $130 if you put in that limit debit. So again, just another good trade. Okay. So power plays looking great. I'm going to continue to monitor them through the remainder of the day. We have another hour and a half before market closes. Etsy's going to be a loss. BDX I didn't get filled on, but everything else is looking fine. And yeah, I'm happy to see how power play turned out this week. We still have some earnings plays this week that are still playing into next week. We have Master Blasters, which are super exciting. Closed out for about $310 on Baidu. I'm getting into another trade on that as well. We're going to have some earnings next week. So all in all, it's a very active week. There's never a dull moment trading stocks, options, and Forex. So let's switch over to cryptos for a moment, and let's talk about this. It's been a pretty wild week on cryptos. Bitcoin has done next to nothing, but the charts I really want to draw your attention to is this. Okay, not Litecoin, sorry. Litecoin BTC. This is what I want you to pay attention to. Okay, I have talked about this for the last month. Litecoin versus Bitcoin. Okay, let me zoom in on my face. Right here. Litecoin versus Bitcoin. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I've been saying that these other coins are looking poised to outperform Bitcoin. Okay, so I'll go back to the chart here in a second, but it's a falling wedge in Ethereum. It was a falling wedge in Litecoin, and here's what the chart looks like. Falling wedge, Litecoin versus Bitcoin. It is not a surprise that we have seen an outperformance recently, and traders that have been in Litecoin have been loving it. Traders and investors that have been in Ethereum have been loving it because they have been way better than just looking at Bitcoin, right? Look at just Bitcoin. It's sideways. We've been stuck. We can't get above this high at 64 and change. We can't get below the low at 47. It's stuck. Now, I don't know if this is going to go, more sideways until the mining costs potentially continue to, just rally up or drift a little bit higher. Mining costs right now are around like $25,000. So if Bitcoin just stays stable, then maybe the mining costs continue to squeak up a little bit higher. But if we have a, correction here, I could see that Bitcoin comes back down to this low around the low 40s, let's say like $40,000, finds past resistance, becomes future support, and Bitcoin has a rally from there. Okay, but I think it's still going to underperform compared to others. So let's go to Litecoin dollar. Okay, and look at the structure here. All I've done, this is nothing crazy. I'm just connecting highs and lows. Connect the high to the high to the high to the high. Now, Litecoin has one of two options. Well, I guess three options. One option is it has this rally, it stays right here, and it comes back down into this range, right? If we respect the structure lows, respect the structure highs, we can have this resistance and support continue to dance, and traders look for opportunities to buy low, take profit, buy low, take profit, or buy low, accumulate partial profits, or add more, right? Accumulate, take profit. So you see what I'm saying? There's just good opportunities and good structure to trade on Litecoin, okay? If you take a look at Ethereum, actually, let me finish my thoughts there. So that's one scenario, right? We can stay inside the range, inside this channel, and we can respect the lows and the highs. The other scenario would be this. It rallies, it pauses, and we continue to see a bit of euphoria. We continue to see Litecoin outperform Bitcoin. And if that is the case, then we're looking for this to happen. And that's the hard part, is because a bull flag in this environment after a rally, by the way, of a lot. I mean, this was a run from low to high. We've already ran 73% on Litecoin. So to see this thing potentially break even higher, if we have this type of bull flag and it just goes ballistic, it's very possible. All right. Now, I'm not planning on that, but I'm saying that's very possible. So it either stays in the structure, as I'll kind of draw this with a dotted line, stays in the structure, or we might see the whole thing just bull flag, ignore resistance, ignore the technicals, ignore divergence, and just keep going. Now, probability tells me that we're at least going to have some type of profit taking up here at new highs, and we start to come back down. Also, a couple of major levels. You can see that we've rejected this recent high around 371. Now, I have a Coinbase feed here, okay? And Coinbase has a high around $420. So I'm still pretty bullish. I'm very bullish, in fact, to see if Litecoin can come back to these highs from 2018. All right. So I'm going to remain, at that level, monitoring that 400 level, monitoring that 420 level pretty closely. If it's a bull flag that gets there, that's fine. Personally, I would like to see it pull back and I can buy more and then see it then get to $420. Let's see if we get another rally out of this thing. And if we have a chance to buy low, who wouldn't love the chance to buy Litecoin at a nice little pivot cluster around $250 and then see this thing get up to new highs and have another 60 to 7% rally, right? Makes sense? So a couple things to look for on Litecoin. Let's go Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum has already blown off the highs. Now, I could do the same thing on Litecoin, connect the highs like so, and it's interesting that isn't that the structure that we're holding? Connect the highs, we're right up there to these highs. Now, we have the same type of structure. Ethereum, rather, could come up here, pause. If we have a bull flag, we can continue to blow these highs off. Again, looking at the technicals like this makes me a little bit nervous. This is an unsustainable trajectory. And I know that it's cryptos, and you're like, well, Chris, have you seen 2018? I mean, when we had that $3,000 rally all the way up, or 2017 to 18, we rallied from $3,000 to $20,000. I saw it. I saw it from, 10 grand to 20. I saw it from 13 up to 20. It's like, I watched it. But I also watched, Bitcoin from 10 grand all the way to 60 grand. But it seemed to have a little bit more of an integrity to a wave cycle versus just straight up parabolic movement. So am I saying that Ethereum is going to come down? No. But if you look at my chart here, I have a nice little pivot cluster. Weekly pivot, monthly pivot, pull back towards $2,500. Technically makes a lot of sense. I do think that it's overbought. I think that it's divergent, but that's the technicals. Doesn't mean it has to happen today. Doesn't mean it has to happen right now. But I would rather see this, respect the technicals, come back in, find some structure, and then start making new highs. Give traders a chance to trade this. Because if it's not able to be traded at these levels, then this is, hold on for dear life. This is the HODLers out there, and it continues to run. And it's just, how do I protect my profit? We have to keep that in mind as well. Because eventually, if this thing goes just straight up, that's excellent for everyone holding. But eventually, that concern is that it comes all the way back down as well, right? And so, as we saw in 2018 with Bitcoin at 20 grand, and then 2019 to $3,000, we could do the same thing where these massive runs up end up wiping away 80 to 85 to 90% of it. So don't think for a minute that you are in the clear for all these cryptos to run to the moon and never come back. Okay, there are things called technicals. Okay, the market does behave in waves. The market does respond to natural patterns, and the market has a way of balancing itself. Even if it seems like it's booms and busts, the market will balance itself. Okay, but I'm watching Ethereum closely. Let's talk about a couple of other ones. Basic attention token. You got to be kidding me, man. Basic attention token right back up to those highs. $1.68 retreated. It's down $1.46. Chart alarm still set. Looking to see if we can strike some highs. EOS. New high today at $13. Holy shnikes, man. All right, let me check my Coinbase here. Let me check my Coinbase here. I'm gonna look on my phone. Let me zoom in here. Let's have some fun. So I'm gonna zoom in on this guy. Where's it at? There's my close-up. Let me go to Coinbase Pro and get logged into this. So EOS, I ended up buying. I'm trying to think if I got this. I think I got this around $4. I will confirm that. And my Litecoin apparently doesn't want to open. What to do? Lock me out? Coinbase Pro. There we go. Don't you be doing some funny games on me. There we go. Okay. So my EOS is up around 300%. Okay, 300%. That's not too shabby. I want to see where I bought this thing at. If it gives me a break even, it may or may not. I am in for 129. Let me see. I guess I'll just do the math on this. So I am in. I'm looking at my screen here. So 13 divided by 129. No, that's not right. Never mind. I'll do it later. I bought this thing around $4. I'm up 300%, which makes sense. $3 and change, up around 300%, and it's at $10 and change. So it's somewhere in this cluster. I know that I bought EOS this year in 2021. It was a bit of a diversification from closing out some of my Ripple positions. I was holding Ripple from 20 cents up to 80 cents, closed some profit, got back in at Ripple at 17 cents. This is one that is not allowing me to close right now, but I'm currently sitting on, I own like 3,000 Ripple, and that was at 17 cents. So I've got some decent profit on Ripple right now. $1.60 is the current price. I would love to see Ripple get back to $3. I'd love to see the SEC back off or Ripple win the case against the SEC and have this thing relisted for all these major like Coinbase and all these crypto brokers, because that would make it a lot easier for me to trade and transact with. But I have a pretty decent position in Ripple, and I'm still going to hold. Okay, so that's Ripple. Another one, Link. Link had some fresh highs. We're at $50.42. I have traders in my Flex trading room that have been holding Link since single digits. Redonkulous. Look, I'm not going to lie. I am super happy for any trader over the last 1 to 2 years. If you got involved in cryptos back in the day in 2015, 16, 17, kudos, right? Like way early to the game. You're an early adopter. Fantastic. If traders got involved in 2018, I hope it wasn't at the highs. If traders got involved in 2019, you had a chance to buy the lows. Okay? 2020, you had a chance to just participate in one of the best rallies we've seen in the last couple of years. 2021, you're still enjoying a bit of this rally. In fact, a lot of this rally. And what's happening, this is why I show Bitcoin. What's happening is Bitcoin is sideways. And so we're just starting to see all of these altcoins gain value. And I know I'm actually showing my chart. I should be going back to the chart screen here. But I'm showing Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, right? Which is fine, but the altcoins are. So going back to Link really quickly, Link's at $50.45. This is awesome. And traders in, I mean, this isn't a joke. Like traders in Link at $1, $2. I mean, that run is incredible, right? So, I mean, just hypothetically, let's say that I put in, $1,000. Okay, so if I'm at $50 and I got in for $1, okay, I'm up $49 on my position, right? Divided by $1, I'm up 49 times my money. I take $1,000 investment, turn it into 49 grand, 2 years. I'm sorry, stock market, but that type of growth is obscene and not visible. I mean, and don't tell me like, well, I bought GameStop back in 2020 and I made all this money in January. Well, maybe that's one person. Maybe that's Roaring Kitty. Okay. I mean, I know we have some traders that follow some meme stocks out there, but it's not the same. There truly is. And I don't care if you're an enthusiast on cryptos or you're a skeptic. There is absolutely, undeniably growth opportunities in cryptocurrencies. That's a fact. If it wasn't a fact, you wouldn't see wide adoption right now from banks. You wouldn't see some of the largest investment banks allowing their wealthiest clients to invest in a crypto fund. I don't remember if it was JP Morgan. It might be JP Morgan. If you have $10 million, they're opening up where I think minimum is like a $3 million bump to get into this crypto fund. It's like the growth opportunity is there for real. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that it's the best investment. I'm saying that the growth and speculation and the opportunity is there. So as always, trading involves risk. I have said this from day one. My decision to get involved with cryptocurrencies is about a finite amount that I'm trying to work and massage and nurture and rotate. So I have a finite amount. I've made money on it. I take some profits. I roll it into other coins. I expand. I diversify. And so right now I'm in 9 coins and they're doing pretty well, but it's hard not to do well when everything's moving, right? Everybody can be a bull market genius. Everybody. When the conditions are right, everybody looks like a genius. Okay, but the reality is, what happens when my little finite amount? If Link drops to here, or if Bitcoin drops to 20,000, or if Ripple goes back down and goes to 0, now who's talking? Right now, who's talking about how great they are about trading cryptos? Nobody. So the reality is, look, I'm accepting that risk. Okay, and that's what's going to be important. Is I don't want it to happen. I want everybody. Look, I want cryptos to be 2 things. I want it to be the millennial lottery, where if you're involved, you're participating, and maybe this is the new wave towards decentralization. Cool. It's the millennial lottery, or anyone else who wants to get involved. You don't have to be a millennial for it, obviously, but it's very adoptable by the younger generation. And I also want this to be the equalizer. Think about how much opportunity has been missed over the last 4, 5, 6 years in stocks because we've been told there's going to be a correction. We've been told there's going to be a crash, right? Oh my gosh, if Biden becomes president, the market's going to crash. Hasn't happened yet. I'm not saying that it can't. I'm not saying that it won't, but it's not happening. And so the super doves, the conspiracy bears out there, they're still waiting. And at some point they'll be right and they'll tell you I told you so, but that's probably 4, 5, 6 years in the making where they're just screaming that the market's going to tank. The sky is falling. So 2 things, millennial lottery and the great equalizer. If there's this much opportunity to have 10 times your investment, 20 times your investment, 49 times your investment, that's a powerful thing, right? But it comes with risk. And so as Stan Lee points out in his comic books and Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. So with great speculation comes great risk, right? And great risk management. So as long as you're comfortable with those risks, accept those risks, trade away. And enjoy Saturday Night Live this weekend with the Doge father. So stupid. Elon Musk. I don't know if he's in a skit or if he's actually hosting Saturday Night Live. I think he's hosting. So we'll see how his acting chops are. But anyway, it'll be entertaining nonetheless. So EOS had a crazy high today, Don. I saw that too. Yep, I just talked about that. So really nice high at $13 and change. It's retreated. Not a surprise. We have, really 48 hours of massive pockets there. But I will set another chart alarm here at $13 and change. And just note what I've been looking at all these chart alarms. I've had so many chart alarms the last 2 weeks. New highs, new highs, new highs. It's exciting. It's exciting stuff. Okay. Anything else? Let me go ahead and talk about, I think he's hosting as well. I think so too. It's going to be interesting. So let's go, I did dollar index. Let's go dollar index here, DXY. Okay, DXY coming back down. Interesting little poke above the 200 simple moving average. We might come right back into these lows here. We might tag the lows here and then go back up. One thing I will note though, take a look at this on the chart. Okay, we still have this awesome yearly pivot on the DXY. And I would even say, let's say that next week, okay, look at this level right here. Let's say that next week the dollar continues to slide, continues to slide, continues to slide. Guess what? This right here that I just pointed out, that is an awesome liquidity level. This is a fantastic pivot cluster, and this is a yearly pivot. So even if the dollar sucks until this level here, I'm still interested in buying. And I think buying it gives me opportunities in Forex to trade it back up, possibly all the way back to the same highs, possibly higher. So same thing I said on Monday. I still like New Zealand dollar long, New Zealand dollar short. I still like dollar CAD long. I still like dollar Swiss long. And that's about it. Those are my top ones right now. Okay. Aussie dollar, I can see it going sideways, retesting the highs around 8,000. I'm going to sell it up there. So overall, I don't think this structure on the dollar is going to be broken. But I think it's going to get tested. I think that unless we have a turnaround next week where this thing goes bearish today, indecision Monday, and then starts to push back up, if that happens early in the week, we'll talk about it on Monday morning. I think that is, just allowing the bears to score some points, build this base, and then work its way back out. But if it stays bearish, where it flags on Monday, pushes lower, and we have another 2, 3, 4 weeks of trading where the dollar gets kicked in the teeth, I'm looking to build this base and trade it all the way back up. So my outlook in the medium term on the dollar has not changed, is not changing. Okay. TNX, this is a 10-year note. This is an important one. Pretty wild day. I saw this morning during the trading battle. We came all the way down to 1.47. It's right back where we started at 1.58. Now we are off the highs. The 10-year note is an important metric to watch and see what interest rates are doing. Okay, is the 10-year note going to trickle higher? If so, mortgage rates are going to go with it. Right now, real estate is insane. I mean, everything's insane, right? Lumber prices, random lumber futures up to $1,700. Real estate, people are buying things sight unseen, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over asking. Interest rates are at crazy lows. It's a euphorically feeling bubble. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying it's going to burst, but it's got to be darn close. It's like I don't know how much longer and how much more sustainable this financially engineered environment is, but that's not for me to make that decision. It's just for me to try to trade it. Okay, but I'm watching the 10-year note carefully. I think if we make new highs in the 10-year note, this is going to be the cool-off period for real estate. If we start to see the 10-year note trickling higher up above 1.8, we start creeping up towards 2%, real estate's going to take a big pause. People aren't going to be closing at houses at 3%, 3.15%. They're going to be closing at 3.5%, 3.75%, 4%. Because right now a lot of people are buying bigger homes, more space. More, whether it's adjusting from working from home, leaving cities, whatever. But like I said, sight unseen. I mean, everything I've heard in the market is just crazy seller's market, and good for sellers. But you're also selling at the high and you're buying at the high. And I would hate to see somebody that's excited to sell their house and then they have nowhere to move because it's too expensive to move. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how people really make that transition, because it might be just as expensive to move somewhere else because houses are appreciated that much. So anyway, but watch that 10-year note. That's TNX. Anything else that I'm paying attention to? I'm watching the SPY, watching the Qs, watching the NASDAQ, watching volatility. Lots of stocks for next week. Dollar index. Let's take a look at lumber. LBS. So again, this is a daily chart. Right back to new highs, 1702. All I've talked about for the last month is just buy the breakout, buy the breakout, buy the breakout, buy the breakout. And do it until it stops. Do it till it's this massive. It's like we can't sustain this trajectory. It is insane. To me, like, I can't believe this is lumber. To me, this looks like the South African rand or the Turkish lira when he had like a military coup against their economy. This is not a normal looking chart. We also have, and this is even scarier, we have, check this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you serious? We have 6 weekly pivots in a row. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. And we have 2 monthlies in a row. Guess what? We're going to have another weekly pivot next week. So all I'm saying is it's going to happen at some point. When it tops, we're coming probably back down. If this is a low and this is a high, you can have some Fibonacci numbers in here at the very least, but I wouldn't be surprised if lumber takes a tumble. Okay. Could I say timber? Would that be a lame pun? Timber? Anyway, I'll end on that. Any questions for me today? Any questions? Let me check the chat. How's everybody doing out there? Okay. We doing well? So I'm, I want to have some Q&A. I want to answer some questions. Thanks for joining me today. I know that this was not a part of the normal schedule. Usually on Mondays and Fridays, 9 a.m. for the Pulver Report. Today at 2 p.m. just because I did the trading battle, live sessions, VIP sessions, but I wanted to still do an official recap for the week. I'm still watching from equities on demand traders out there, still watching for the close today to make sure that my Power Play version 2 is in profit to close safely above that line in the sand and take that, hopefully $210, $230 of profit. $290 I think was the add-on. So I think my max right now, since I closed out for partial profits, around like $270. So $270 would be a nice one to add to it, and all good stuff. ADSK is under 285. Yes, it is. And I believe, I want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure. Yep. So who was asking that? Crypto Gammy. Okay, take a look at this. This is from my Telegram channel. I close ADSK. I put the alert in here at 114. Okay, Tyson and I were talking about this in the VIP session, or just after that VIP session. I closed this thing out for a what was it? 14-cent limit debit. So I did close out that position for a profit, and I noted that in the spreadsheet. So that was updated. I also closed out, hey Tammy, I did close out LMT as well. That was from last week's Power Play version 3. So I got about 92% of the profit of that. I got about 90% of profit at ADSK, so I'm happy with that. The other ones are looking pretty good. Okay, all right, Don, I appreciate that. Yep, if you take a moment, smash that like button for me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so when I do go live, if it's not right at 9 o'clock like you're accustomed to, and I go live randomly at 2 p.m. or I throw some improvised session out, make sure you can join me and tune in. But I appreciate everyone tuning in this week. Flex Room, Equities on Demand. If you joined me for the trading battle today, I hope you had a lot of fun. I certainly did. That was a blast. I would do that. I mean, if we had news that would move the market every single day, I would do that every single day. Kind of. I like how I trade. That's a forced environment, so we're kind of forced to press the button and forced to trade. But it was for a good cause. Blake and I both made some nice money for our respective charities, so I'm happy with that. But great week in stocks and options. A massive turnaround because yesterday we had a lot of angry traders. A lot of traders that it's like, and look, I know what it is. It's trading, right? Most traders that are new don't recognize the fact that it's emotions. You tie, competitiveness to money to emotions. It brings out kind of the best and worst of people. So we had some reactions of like, all I'm doing is losing. And then the reality was, oh, we're not so bad because everything's fine today. Okay, but I'm happy that we're able to close on a positive note and see some good profits, but as part of the process, we keep trading. We're going to be fine. I will say this, and I said this in the VIP session with Equities on Demand. It doesn't matter what the market brings. Okay, I don't care if, Dogecoin goes to $1, where's it at right now? I'm going to check one more thing. Dogecoin, we're at 62 cents. Okay, so let's say Doge does go to $1. Let's say that Ethereum blows off the top and Litecoin blows off the top and lumber goes to $2,000. If you're the trader that's trying to call the top, you're the trader that is on the verge of losing a lot, right? Like, don't fight these stupid euphoric moves yet. There's a time and a place for tops and bottoms. There's a time and a place for confirmation and price patterns. We'll see when it's happening. The price will give you the clues. The evidence will be there. You just got to look for it. Okay, so tune into the Pulver Report on Mondays and Fridays. We'll be paying attention. Flex Room, Equities on Demand. Looking forward to seeing everybody next week. Have a fantastic weekend.